All right, everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into something pretty fascinating and I think timely, the world of Amazon labor relations. Specifically, we're looking at the UK, where things have gotten a little, well, more than a little heated between Amazon and a major trade union there
Right.
called the GMB.
Yeah, they've been button heads for a while now.
Yeah, so we've got two main sources we're going to be using to kind of unpack all this.
Okay.
We've got this article, I think it was in The Guardian, that breaks down this clash, this fight between Amazon and the GMB.
Right.
And then we've also got this Reddit thread that's just packed with comments from apparently actual Amazon warehouse employees, like on the ground.
Oh, wow. That's really valuable.
Right. So we're going to go through all that, see where those different perspectives line up, where they maybe diverge,
I love it. Yeah.
and hopefully uncover some insights along the way, things you wouldn't necessarily get just from reading the headlines.
Yeah, and I think what's so interesting about this whole situation in the UK is how it really reflects like this much larger conversation that's happening globally, right? Like, how do we balance the convenience that we all love, right? Online shopping
Oh, yeah.
with like fair treatment of the people who are actually making it all possible behind the scenes.
It's a huge question
It is.
that we all got to figure out.
Absolutely.
So let's jump into this article about Amazon and the GMB.
Yeah, let's do it.
This article, it kicks off like right away with this pretty intense back and forth between the two.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, the GMB has been trying to unionize Amazon workers in the UK for ages, but they just keep hitting these roadblocks.
Right. And they're not just focused on wages either, which a lot of people think is the only thing unions care about, right? But the GMB is actually alleging some pretty serious issues, from worker mistreatment
Wow.
to denial of like basic legal rights,
Oh, wow.
even accusing Amazon of using straight up like illegal union busting tactics.
Okay, so that's definitely more than just a disagreement over pay.
For sure.
What kind of tactics are we talking about here?
So the article highlights this recent unionization vote that happened at Amazon's Coventry warehouse.
Okay.
And the GMB was really pushing for it, but they ended up losing, like just barely.
Oh, wow.
And now they're claiming that Amazon actually swayed the vote by, get this, by forcing employees to attend these anti-union seminars.
Really?
Yeah, like mandatory.
Captive audience kind of thing.
Exactly.
Ugh.
And it gets worse. They're even alleging that Amazon threatened employees
No way.
with pay cuts, like reductions in their benefits if they sided with the union.
Hold on, that's intense. It almost feels like something out of a movie or something.
I know, right?
Like a thriller or so. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it actually goes even further than that. So the GMB also claims that Amazon's been targeting like vocal union supporters, disciplining them, even firing them, to basically eliminate any potential, quote unquote troublemakers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there's even a Guardian report
Right.
alleging that disciplinary action was taken against like 60 GMB members at that same Coventry facility.
60, that's a lot.
It is.
Okay, so we've got this big picture clash happening between the union and Amazon.
Right.
Some pretty serious accusations being thrown around, but it's important to remember that this is just one side of the story.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's why our next source is so crucial, right? That Reddit thread.
Right.
It's like a window, I think, into the lives of the people who are actually working in these warehouses. It's like getting a glimpse behind the curtain.
Right.
And what we see is, honestly, it's surprisingly complex.
Yeah, I was really struck by just how diverse the experiences were in there.
Oh, yeah.
Some folks, genuinely seemed happy with their jobs at Amazon.
Yeah.
The fast hiring process, the weekly pay, said the benefits were decent,
Right.
especially if you were lucky enough to, snag a permanent position.
Yeah. And I think a lot of them actually pointed to Amazon's Career Choice program as a major plus.
Yeah.
It's this program that helps employees get extra training.
Right.
Or even pursue further education.
Yeah.
So they can move on to better opportunities. It definitely paints a picture of Amazon as, a stepping stone, not necessarily a dead end like some people might think.
Yeah. But then you've also got these posts that really echo what the GMB was claiming.
Right.
People talking about crazy strict bathroom break policies.
Yeah.
Just relentless pressure to hit insane productivity targets and this like pervasive sense of fear in some of these warehouses.
Yeah. Do you remember that anecdote? I think it was toward the top of the thread about the worker getting written up for taking like a 3-minute bathroom break.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It just like, it really highlights how these corporate policies, you know, even if they sound like reasonable on paper, can sometimes translate into something that just feels dehumanizing, like on the warehouse floor, on the ground.
Yeah, it's almost like there are two different realities existing side by side. One where Amazon is this like innovative company with all these great opportunities.
Right.
And then another where it's like this pressure cooker that can feel pretty demoralizing, pretty awful.
And I think the fact that these experiences vary so much between different warehouses is really telling too. Like it suggests there's this potential disconnect between what Amazon's corporate policies, you know, what they officially say and how they're actually implemented, like by managers on the ground.
Right. Like there's the theory and then there's the practice.
Exactly.
So, okay, we've got the GMB's claims about union busting, worker mistreatment.
Right.
But then we also have these employee experiences that run the gamut from like very positive to downright concerning.
Right.
What do we do with all this seemingly conflicting information? Like, how do we even begin to make sense of it?
It's tough. Yeah, it feels like almost like trying to solve a puzzle, but like with half the pieces missing.
Yeah.
But maybe by looking at the bigger picture, we can like start to see how some of those pieces fit together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's zoom out for a second. I mean, we're talking about Amazon here,
right?
Like a company that has fundamentally reshaped how we shop, how we work, like everything. That kind of like massive change, I mean, it's bound to create some tension, some friction along the way, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I mean, Amazon's growth has been like explosive.
Right.
And it's like, it's put this huge spotlight on this question we keep coming back to, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do we balance the needs of workers with a company's desire for, you know, efficiency, for speed, for profit?
Right. Especially in this like new gig economy landscape.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Like, are the rules even like set up for this yet? Yeah. It does feel like the rules of the game haven't quite caught up to how work is actually happening.
100%. Yeah. We're seeing this clash between like these traditional models of employment and the kind of like flexible on-demand workforce that companies like Amazon really rely on.
Right.
And it's only going to get more complex, right? As automation, AI, all that stuff comes into play.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, this isn't just an Amazon problem. This is a challenge for like our entire society.
It is. Okay, so zooming back in on Amazon then.
Okay.
What stands out to you as the most important takeaway from all this? Like, what's the nugget we need to like hold on to?
I think the most crucial thing to remember here is that real people are at the heart of this whole issue, right? Like on one side, you have Amazon's need to stay competitive, to deliver those packages quickly,
right?
Keep those profits rolling in.
Yeah.
But on the other side, you have the workers, right? And they deserve to be treated with dignity, with respect.
Oh, they need to earn a living wage. Like, these are basic things.
Right. Yeah. It's easy to get lost in these like big abstract debates about labor rates and corporate power and all of that. But we can't forget that there are actual human beings,
right,
whose lives are being impacted by all of this. Like, this is real.
Yeah, 100%. You're absolutely right. These are real people with families, with dreams, with needs. And I think that's where the real challenge lies, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do we balance those competing interests in a way that's fair and sustainable for everyone involved?
It's the million-dollar question, right? So where do we go from here?
Right.
Like, what can be done to address some of these issues, both, you know, within Amazon itself, but also in the wider gig economy?
Well, I mean, there's no, like, magic bullet.
Right. But I think there are a few things we can focus on. Like, first off, I think we need stronger labor laws, like laws that are actually designed for the digital age, laws that actually protect workers' rights in this new world of work that we're all living in.
Yeah, what would that even look like? Like, what needs to change specifically?
Well, for starters, I think we need clearer definitions of what an employee actually is
Right.
in the gig economy.
Hmm.
Right now, it's like it's too easy for companies to just label workers as independent contractors,
Yeah.
which, lets them off the hook for providing basic rights and protections.
Right. It's like the law is like stuck in the past while the
Yeah.
world of work is like zoomed ahead.
Exactly. And I think we also need to make sure that workers have access to like the essential things like
Right.
sick leave,
Hmm.
paid time off, affordable health care,
Right.
regardless of their employment status. Like these are the kinds of things that provide, basic security,
Yeah.
allow people to like thrive, not just survive.
It makes you wonder if those things should even be tied to employment status
Right.
in the first place.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's a whole other deep dive for another time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure. So, okay, sticking with Amazon, though.
Yeah.
Beyond, like, the legislative changes, what else?
I think companies like Amazon need to take a more proactive approach to worker well-being,
Yeah.
right? That means like providing more predictable schedules,
Yeah.
creating real opportunities for advancement and fostering a workplace culture that actually values respect,
Yeah.
open communication.
Right. So it sounds like it's going to take a pretty big shift in mindset
Mm-hmm.
from, lawmakers, but also from these big corporations.
It will, and it's going to require everyone to work together.
Yeah.
Workers, unions, companies, policymakers, like everyone. It's a complex problem,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it's insurmountable,
I love that it's a reminder that even with something this complex, this, with all these different sides,
Yeah.
there's always hope for positive change. Okay, so zooming out, like one last time then,
Okay.
what does all of this tell us about the future of work in general? Like,
Yeah.
are we headed toward a world where worker rights are just like eroded further?
Right.
Or is there hope for something better, something, more equitable?
That's the big question, I think, that we all need to be grappling with, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I believe the future of work is what we make it.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to us to ensure that workers have a voice,
Right.
that their rights are protected.
The stakes are like incredibly high.
They are, but I'm also like optimistic. I mean, the
Mhm.
fact that we're having these conversations, that
Mhm.
there's like growing awareness about these issues,
Yeah.
that's a positive sign, right?
I say it is.
The more we talk about these challenges, the more likely we are to find solutions.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Okay, so I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
For sure.
We dug into those claims made by the GMB,
Mm-hmm.
explored those like raw, honest experiences shared by those Amazon warehouse workers,
Yeah.
and even like started to grapple with the larger implications, right,
Mm-hmm.
for the future of work. But this isn't just about us talking about it.
Okay.
It's about what happens next, what we do with all this information.
Yeah, 100%. And that's, I think, where you come in.
Right, you, the listener.
Yeah.
As a listener, as a consumer, as someone who's like part of this whole system, this whole machine,
Mm-hmm.
what role do you see yourself playing in all this?
Right. Like, what can you actually do to maybe help shape the future of work? Because I think this is something that's really important to emphasize. Like, this isn't some abstract debate that's happening out there in a vacuum. This has real world consequences for like all of us.
Of course, yeah.
The choices that we make as consumers,
Mm-hmm.
the policies that we support, even just the conversations that we have with, our friends, our families, all of that contributes to shaping the world that we want to live in.
That's such a powerful reminder. It's so easy to feel like these big issues are just like totally out of our control.
Mm-hmm.
But we actually have more power than we realize, I think.
Absolutely. And it starts with being informed, right? With understanding the complexities and then deciding, okay, what kind of future do we actually want to build?
So true. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Yeah.
We explored this complex relationship between Amazon and its workforce in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at those claims made by the GMB, heard those firsthand experiences from the warehouse workers,
Right.
and even, ventured into the uncharted territory of the future of work.
Yeah. And it's clear there are no easy answers here, right?
No, definitely not.
But I hope you walk away from this with at least a deeper understanding of just how nuanced this whole issue is, and maybe even a sense of like empowerment to engage in these critical conversations.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, the future of work really is up to all of us. We all have a part to play.
100%. And so I think just to leave everyone with one final like thought-provoking question to ponder. Okay. if you were in a position to actually improve the situation, what would you prioritize? Would it be worker well-being, corporate profits, or maybe like finding that elusive middle ground?
Oh, that's a tough one, but it's one we all need to be asking ourselves, I think.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those conversations going.
As always, subscribe to our channel, like the video, and comment below. There are also some links in our description that you may find useful. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.